All right, let's talk about Ken Dorsey. He got fired this morning. Do you think he's the reason why the Bills stink?
The Bills stink on offense right now for a multitude of reasons. So, like,
All right.
I did this when I was younger in this industry. I came at people when it came to coaching. You got to fire them. I kind of made myself the promise I'm never going to kind of do that again. I actually had a conversation face-to-face, man-to-man recently with a coach. I did that too when I was younger and even reaffirmed it. So, like, the results are what the results are. It's a results-based business, and when you look at that offensive play, the things that are the problems. Okay, number one, it's wildly predictable. I know that people in Pittsburgh talk about their offense. It's wildly predictable. Like, if I went to D-Butt right now, we were talking about it last night. If I went to D-Butt right now and said, hey, the Bills are in 2x2 on first and second down, 2 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left, they are running either an RPO or they're running a short end to Stephon Diggs. That's problem number one. Then when they get into bunch, they're running the spot routes. It's wildly predictable. Number two, it is the easiest offense in the NFL right now to, like, prepare for, because they don't do anything. It's so dependent, and it reminds me of the Bucs Super Bowl year. They're so dependent on, hey, if everybody executes to a 10 on this play, we'll be good. Now, the downside is that's so unrealistic. Sometimes it happens. Like, sometimes it works out great, and they all execute it. Josh is off the charts, and Steph, and it looks great.
No,
it's just
but
so
on
unrealistic
Madden,
to bank on that.
On Madden, I was told everybody that's a 98 is a 98 all the time, every single day.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I was told on Madden. Dan, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they only run like 2 run plays. They pull the tackle and run tackle trap or tackle kennel, whatever you want to call it. They build none of their pass game into Stephon Diggs. I watched the Rams do it with Cooper. I watched the Bengals do it with Jamar Chase. I watched the Vikings do it with Justin Jefferson. Like, hey, we are calling these plays to get these guys the ball in multiple different ways. They don't do it. So it's very much so schematically a broken offense. Their 4th and 1 call I hated last night, motioning just to say we moved a guy. So everyone's got to play better. Turnovers, all that, no doubt. But, like, it's broken schematically. I've said this forever. Go under center and run more play action with motion. They do it, they're good. They just don't do it more than 3 or 4 times a game. So there's a lot of reasons the results are what the results are.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Stephon Diggs getting the ball, and I almost interrupt you because that's what I do. But, like, it's not great, but I do it. But the Devontae Adams situation with the Raiders, literally just the other day, it was like Antonio Pierce came out and was like, yeah, we're going to try to get the ball to Devontae Adams. Like, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you do that to Stephon Diggs, especially with who Stephon Diggs is? Mm-hmm. Like, Stephon Diggs is a guy that if he gets the ball and is in the game, he's going to be the best guy on the field. Mm-hmm. If not, there's a chance he's going to be like, why the hell are you paying me what you're paying me? And why am I even here if you're not going to do it? And those are valid questions. Mm-hmm. Now, the way he goes about it, I think is standard wide receiver stuff, but some people see it a different way. It's like, I would die to have Stephon Diggs on the Colts. And if Shane Steichen had Stephon Diggs on the Colts, those first 3 plays are bubble, maybe a slant. Let's get the ball into this guy's hands so he knows that he's a part of it. It's like, why didn't Dorsey do that? Why didn't McDermott tell him we need to do that? You know, like, that's a whole nother question about how we even got to this point.
I have no idea. I can't, like, I remember talking about this weeks ago when it came to CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys. It was like, if you're not going to get him the ball and throw it to him, then just trade him. And I feel that way in relation to Stephon Diggs and Buffalo now. And people throw out these numbers like targets and all that. Guys, watch the games. You can watch the game and know that they are not calling plays with the specific point of getting that person the football. And I do want to give some love to Surtain last night. Like, he was really good. But that's why it goes into another level for me, Pat. It's not only that they're not trying to get him the ball. It's when they throw him the ball, he's literally running a 5-yard in route, the old school like Reggie Wayne stuff. We can't get him in a more diversified role or a more diversified route tree. So again, there are so many things schematically broken about their offense that the results kind of lend itself to sitting there going, I understand why.
I look at that team and I see like much different mana.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Mana.
Opposite.
Yeah, it's not a lot of mana.
None.
No. Not a lot of mana. You know, last year they had a lot of mana, felt like.
Yeah.
Now they went through a lot. So obviously that's going to bring a team together, but they were like known for being a team that was fun to watch. They're having fun. We're a blast. And it's hard to do that whenever you're losing or whatever, but are you happy because you win, or do you win because you're happy? You know, like I think that team appears to have some shit going on behind the scenes too. You know, it's like, does Ken Dorsey getting out of there, does it fix that type of stuff as well? Like, do you think this has a real effect on them bouncing back and making the most of this season, especially in an AFC where it's very gettable because how middle heavy it is? Like, do you think this change helps them, and do they go on a run?
If they play way freer, you know, like, and that's always a fine line they have to walk. And certainly Josh is one of those players. Like I see stuff on the internet right now where it says, well, Josh Allen's mechanics have fallen off. I disagree with that respectfully. I don't see that. I think all the things that are necessary.
All right, put it on the table.
Respectfully.
Yeah, I think all the things that are necessary to throw it well, Josh is doing that. But I don't think that watching this tape is a surprise to Sean McDermott in Buffalo. I think that it was very obvious what they were schematically. So why had Ken Dorsey kept his job for that long? My guess, players liked him. My guess that a guy like Josh Allen liked him. That's an assumption by me. So now it goes to Joe Brady, and it's like, well, can Joe Brady free them up a little bit more? Can Joe Brady maybe get them into a little bit more empty, something that I think that they should have been utilizing more, as long as Josh plays with his hots? Will Joe Brady put them under center a little more? So if he gets them to that place where, I'm not saying you're reinventing the wheel schematically, but you've got to lean into things that you're good at and get away from the stuff that you stink at, it could help their offense. Obviously, injuries are a part of it. Turnovers are a part of it. But I think they're far too talented to play the way that they did over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Were you interviewed by McDermott last night about potentially becoming the offense coordinator? Or?
Ooh.
I saw that tweet from someone. No, I wasn't, man. I didn't.
I was just talking about the way you were talking there. It sounds like you were going to be an offense coordinator at some point. That's going to happen, right? We all assume?
I would hoop so. I mean, it's certainly something that's on my mind at some point one day, but my kids are too young.
Oh, so we got to wait till the kids get a little bit older so you can be living on a couch for 6 months?
Yeah, and you guys know what that job is like, so. But I love what I do now. So.
Would he OC from the sideline or up in the booth?
Yeah, what do you think about that? That's a good question, because Matt America.
It depends on who the quarterback coach is. Like, if the quarterback coach is someone that you trust can have those face-to-face conversations with the guy on the sideline, then you're good to go up. But if you don't have that guy, you got to stay down.
Oh, I didn't know that was the reasoning, because that makes a lot of sense now. You don't think Matt America?
You got to have the person. You got to have the person who knows what they're talking about, who's been in the fire. I feel you got to have a person who knows what it's like, looking at the picture. So.